Hello, everyone. My name is Meghna, and I am the founder of the startup Swan Livelihood, which is a Delhi-based startup focusing on empowering youth coming from all the sections of the society through our specially designed training and learning program. And the Youth Sustainability Dialogue Season 2 is one of our initiative in which we try to bring out the stories of the young change makers all across the globe so that they could share their journey of the wonderful work that they are doing around sustainable development goals. And in our first session, we have with us Prakhar, our very own host, who has been doing wonderful work in the field of entrepreneurship. And he's also the founder of his own startup. And also Amon De Peter, who is the CEO of Global Youth Forum. I welcome both of you to today's session and also the first series of the Youth Sustainability Dialogue, and would like to know more about the work that you are doing through the wonderful conversation that we are going to have with both of you. So, introducing Prakhar, who has been actively working with us since the last 1 year and also owns his own startup. I welcome Prakhar to kindly host the session and also introduce Amondi to our today's session. Over to you, Prakhar.
Great, thanks, ma'am. Thanks, Meghna, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity. First of all, hey, warm greetings to everyone. I hope everyone are doing good and healthy. And welcome to our first episode of Youth Sustainability Dialogue. So, it is said that never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that has ever done. This quote was said by Margaret Mead, and so basically, it speaks about that even though our initiatives might be small, our talks might be small, it might be on a small level, but it has the capacity to change the world, and it was always the case in the world. So welcome. I would first of all I would like to welcome our guest, Peter here, and Peter, how are you doing?
I'm very fine, Gupta. So nice to meet you and nice to start the conversation with the quote you've just started it with. So I'm very fine and looking forward to today's session. Thank you.
Yeah, great. So, first of all, Peter, uh, I would like you to please share a brief about your journey so far. Like, what are your challenges in your journey, your obstacles, interests, inspiration, achievements?
All right. So thanks once again for having me on the platform. So I know you sharing my journey can be really a broad question, but I'll try and jump on. So feel free to call me Peter Omondi, all the way from
Yeah,
Kenya,
sure.
just joining this conversation to share my thoughts. So good question there. My journey. So my journey, obviously, when I was born. So people first they start by being born. So I was born, went through my education. So basically, I went through a rural school, my primary school, where life was really interesting. So my journey is primary school. Having completed my primary school, I had to um, stay out of school for 1 year because my family could not afford to pay my secondary school fees. So that's like the start of my journey. Like I had to complete my primary school. Upon completion, I had to stay at home for 1 good year as my family and friends were looking to take me to high school. And that was an inspiring moment, like a humbling moment. How could I not go to high school after completing my primary school, if you see what I mean? So that was a really humbling moment and also a moment to learn few things. So then I managed to join high school. And in high school, this is a solid story of the journey. I really loved football. And every single time my teachers joined in during the PE class, there you just expect chaos. So I could go find a class that was in PE and play with them. And I remember in my high school, I wasn't the best in football though. So I used to be like a reserve. And I remember one day sneaking out to go play for my school team, only to come back on a Monday to be given a big punishment. I had to dig a big tree stump, and I was given also a 2 week suspension. and then I had to clear fees, if you see what I mean. So I had a talent, but I wasn't really good in that because there was somebody who was better than me. So I ended up getting punished for that. And obviously, I completed my high school, gotten some good grade that took me to university, and upon graduation, I landed a job. And just to touch on a bit of my university, I started a Rover Scout in my university. So where we started at two youth and ended up at 60 young people in that Rover Scout group. Then I graduated and secured my first job as a resource center manager and a marketing officer. But I did a degree on agricultural sciences, Gupta, if you see what I mean, and landing into a new job of a totally different area. So in that new job, about that new job, I was made the football coach for that institution. And through that football, I managed, together with my team and the Rotaract Club that I was patron to, we organized a tournament and raised 500,000 Kenya shillings that we donated to a drug rehabilitation center in the county, that is in Mombasa County. And that was an inspirational moment. So you ask in your question about some of the obstacles and the challenges I faced. Look, the society, we have limited resources, but when we have these limited resources and they are not properly allocated, then we suffer and not achieve what we want. And then the challenge also in there that, look, if you are not the best in the society, then the society will be going like, oh, we just need top candidates. And if you fall in like below there, then nobody considers you. And then sometimes, look, I had to complete 1 year out of school and my society and everyone was there. And I had only to wait for other partners from across the globe, like my sponsors were from UK, to sponsor my high school. So those are some of the challenges that I did face and some of my inspirations, that like things that inspire me to do what I do. If other people could see my potential and they could join me to support me to go through my high school and to realize my potential, how then can I just sit in a corner and allow other young people to suffer? Obviously, I got that heart to also come back and give back to the community and support them realize their dreams. So this is the last one, the achievement so far. Since we started at Global Youth Forum, I know you had loads in there. We've registered the organization in 4 counties. And as I mentioned, we did football. So we've done 10 tournaments, reaching out to 98 football teams and raising approximately resources worth over 16,000 US dollars to just go towards empowerment of these young people and helping them to gain skills that will help them create a job or get a job. So thank you so much for that. It was really long, but that's purely my journey condensed into like a smaller bit of it. So thanks, Gupta.
No, it was like great insights from your journey, and it's really amazing that what you have been going through and how you have converted those obstacles into your achievements. That's really amazing. And moving forward, I would like you to request you to please let us know about your organization. Like, how did you come up with the idea of starting your organization, and what inspired you to like uh, start your organization and do like contribute in the field of sustainable development? What
Okay,
was
good
the major
question.
reason for that? Right.
Yeah, good question right there. So you were asking how, like, what inspired me to start the organization and how I started it. Is that correct?
Right. And first of all, what your organization deals in? It will be great for our viewers to know about that.
Oh, all right, good. So with Global Youth Forum, basically our aim is to help end poverty in the rural communities or like among the youth in my country called Kenya, but we are looking to expand to Africa. So look, what inspired me to start this organization is like upon graduation and I secured a job, my job was 2 years contract. So if I had my contract ended, but then I was in that job and I had already like used my talent, that is football, which I really, really loved. And we had even raised 500,000 Kenya shillings that we donated. And remember back in my university, I started a Rover Scout. And working with Rover Scouts, working with in student leadership and building all that my skills, I already had like a glimpse. I knew like my interests were in sports and I loved leadership, and these were the areas that I was really keen on. So by the time I was graduating at the university, I already had the number of like the young people, but I was still in the scout group. So leaving university and going into the workplace where I was working under an institution, I was still under rules. But by the time my contract ended, I was like, now where do I go and start engaging these young people? Or where do I put my skills and continue empowering young people, sharing my skills with them? So when I was in university, by the time I was graduating, I had already created a Facebook group for Global Youth Forum because I was already looking forward and thinking, look, where will I go with all these young people? So I already had a group for Global Youth Forum. I never knew what I was going to do with it. But by the time my contract ended, then now I came down and say, look, now is the time to start thinking of what I can do. But now I was out of organization. So how can I be independent and have like things that if I go to somebody, I can tell them that, look, here we are registered and this is now what we are going to do. And that's how we started our organization. So having ended my contract, I used all my saving to buy a few things, ran our first football tournament back in 2015. And by that, then we recruited volunteers. And since then, we've always been doing our bit to empower young people. So purely that's like a journey of how like Global Youth Forum started. But purely we started just to, like our first tournament started by getting young people. We just play football, and because where we left, we were living, the young people were much into drugs. So we were thinking of how can we get young people into sport, play this football, and um, get them out of drugs, keep them busy and not get them get into these drugs. So in there we didn't have like a bigger picture, but as time evolves, we've like turned around things and looked beyond just playing football. Now we have the four thematic areas: the education, adventures, environment, and entrepreneurship that our organization focuses on to empower these young people with the skills they need. So purely that's what we do and the problem we are looking to solve.
That's really amazing. That was really amazing. So basically, what are the problems that you're trying to address through your what do you say work? What are the major key areas that you may have identified that you will work upon that? And what are the challenges that you may have observed during pre and post pandemic time?
All right, good. So you are looking at the problem that we are looking to solve as an organization. So look,
Right, right.
yeah, look, Gupta, we look at the world, and as I speak to you, over like population of over 1.2 billion are young people between the ages of 15 to 25. And if you go deeply, you look at the number of unemployed people, young people around the globe, and you will be surprised. So if you look at all these numbers, you will agree with me that if these young people are out there and they are not employed, then the poverty level will be so high up. So the problem we are looking to solve, or the one that we are working on, is to eradicate youth unemployment. And this can be a wider, like a very big part that as Pete and my organization, we can't do alone. So ours is to help eradicate youth unemployment. And how we do this, we organize these forums to provide them with skills and just empower them with these skills to enable them create a job or get a job. And when they get this job, then they can earn some decent income, live better lives, and contribute towards the sustainable development goals that we always speak about. So purely, that's like the problem we are looking to solve and looking at the challenges. Look, Gupta, you will agree with me. I don't know how it is in your place, but getting people to buy into young people's ideas can be really hard. We got to work extra hard to prove ourselves. Like, let's say, one big challenge is, look, the world have people, we got good people, but looking and getting good mentors and coaches that can hold hands of young people. I'm lucky that I have a team behind me that holds my hand. But not every other young person out there have got good mentors and good coaches that will be honest with them and just guide them along the way. And then as I spoke about this issue of corruption and the things we do, I remember working with other organizations, and you have this brilliant idea. They come in to support, and the following day you see them with the same idea but with a different name. So you are like, as a young person, that was my idea or like our idea, but how could we like synergize and work going forward? this person comes, get the tips, runs away, starts their own thing, but with a different name. So you realize you still have to work extra hard to like get people to buy in. And then another challenge you get as we work along this way, you clearly know what young people really want and you are providing that one. And it takes you really good time for young people to buy in. So as young people, I think we are more divided, that we really need to be connected together so that we can work on a common goal. So those are some of the challenges, the problem we are working on, and purely I think that serves in terms of answering the question.
Right. That are great areas to like work upon. They are never-ending areas and are uniformly present in all over the world in major developing or underdeveloping nations, or even in developed nations, right? So we can find all of the areas. So I would also like you to like uh, know us about that. What are the challenges that you have observed, like in the pre and post pandemic time when you were starting the organization? What were the major challenges that you were going through?
Okay, good question there. So again, looking at the challenges we face, like let's look at the pre-pandemic. Again, I mentioned something in terms of looking at, for example, let me shift it a little bit and say the leadership level and the political goodwill to support young people realize their full potential. Look at the financing level. For example, young people, they need finances, they need resources to achieve all these projects they are working on. But if you don't have a godfather or a godmother or whatever you want to call it, it's really hard for you to penetrate these financial grants or like other people that give people funds. Because an organization, for example, Global Youth Forum, that maybe we don't know somebody out there, but as another organization somewhere that knows people out there, they can cook figures. Or I can come and claim to you and say, look, oh, I have empowered over 1 million people, but you ask me, Peter, can you show me this 1 million people? But I can't show you anyway. But you have people who can cook these figures, they go in there and they get the funds and they squander funds. So call about corruption and this Godfather and these other things that affect our communities are some of the challenges that were there pre-COVID. And then you look at again during the COVID pandemic, or you have like people like when you go into the university, you take a degree, you take a course, but you get into the world, which is totally different. And you're like, yes, you have a degree, but then the work requires something that is really in there. So it took me a bit of time to like adjust to the world of work, meet the requirements that I really need to like get my systems organized. And again, as I said, you have good idea, people come in to join you, and then the next time you see your idea somewhere with a different name and you're like, wow, how will I go about this one? So it is you to just keep going, knowing that you're working on the right thing and just keep the momentum going. So looking at the post-pandemic, look, the world has changed. If it wasn't for the pandemic, we would not be here. Look at the digital literacy level. You speak to people and like you ask them about computers and you're like, you are speaking Greek. So the digital literacy and the tools that can support digital learning and access of quality education that meets the 21st century are one of the challenges that young people face. And even as Peter, sometimes we got internet and we got infrastructure to use to make such things happen. And those are some of the challenges that we encounter as we work on these organizations and empower more people. So I hope that helps answer that question, Gupta.
Yeah, that's great. Basically, the thing is that after the like post COVID time has really changed the world, how world interacts with each other. So basically, it requires immense leadership, communication skills, and various other qualities to maintain an organization.
Yeah.
Because an
Yeah.
average communication skills and what do you say, an average leadership would never be able to cope up with the changes in because leadership is dynamic to deal with the challenges that are going into our outer environment and all that. So it's really great that you have been like tackling all these challenges. It shows about your leadership quality and how you are in person. So I'm really inspired by that. And apart from that, I would also like you to tell me about that. What sustainable development goals are you trying to achieve through your work? Like on a broader perspective, if you can name any area, one or two.
Okay, good angle there. So I do love SDGs, and every project we do, we try to relate that and link that to the Sustainable Development Goals. So before I name the SDGs I'm passionate about and my organization is working on, I just love to state it, and obviously you will hear it from other people, that the Sustainable Development Goals are interlinked, like they're like together. So in every single element you work on, it touches on the other. So the goals that we are working on as Global Youth Forum include quality education, because with quality education, then you can actually achieve all the other goals. So we work on quality education. Through that, we work to achieve decent work and economic growth. That is goal number 8. And then no poverty, zero hunger. And then you go to peace and justice, strong institutions. And then you got good health and well-being. And in additional to that, goal 17, partnership for the goal. So those are the goals we work on, Gupta. And yes, we keep the fire burning, if you see what I mean.
Hello,
Yeah.
Peter, are you able to like see me? I'm having a stop video. I'm not able to like see you or like in person.
Personally, I can see you. Are you able to see me?
Yeah, yeah. You're able to see me now. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, great, 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 great. So there might be any lag or something. So thank you for providing us what are the goals that you're dealing with. So uh, you are you may be having a good memories associated with Africa. Like what are you going with in that region? So would you like to share a brief about your work and contribution achievements or practices based on your experiences?
Pardon? I didn't get that one quite well. Sorry.
Hello, hello. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I
basically,
didn't
it's
I
about
didn't
that.
get the question really well. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's about that. What are your great memories associated with your work that you were doing in your area, and when you were seeing the impact that it has created in that area, the changes that you have seen in people, or anything you would like to share uh, about that.
Okay, good one. So I will just point again, like looking at Football for Peace, and I still see you can hear me and see me as well. So looking at Football for Peace, where we organize annual tournaments. For example, when we hold these tournaments, we award teams. And our first tournament that we organized, we awarded the 50,000 Kenya shillings to our champions. And by following this one keenly, the winner or the team that won that particular tournament, the owner works with street children. So he goes out there, gets the street children, guides them, gives them mentoring and coaching to bring them back into life. So I was speaking to him and he told me, Peter, we used that money to pay school fees for some of our kids. And I felt that was really nice. And I can say that, look, this was a good impact. And the cash we gave into this particular group helped pay a fee for a street child who would not otherwise have gone to school. And just like me growing up, and other people gave me a hand to go through high school to university and to do what I do, I felt that working through a tournament and supporting more young people out there realize their vision and mission through my small contribution and talent in sport could actually make a difference. So I think touching on that really made me feel really nice. And another one, we do the Molding for Work program, where we train young people on life skills. And after we train them, then we hook them to corporate partners. I remember one of us, by the time he was graduating, he got a job with a company, and another person also was given a job, but then he said, look, I still now have another job. So getting these young people from a state of having nothing to getting something inspires me to keep doing what I do and still just enjoy it, knowing that I'm giving a hand. And just like you started, it only needs that one heart. You can make only one person smile, but then that smile can go like a long way, and it has like a ripple effect. So doing these small things each and every day makes me smile, and I always want to do more. So that touches on some of the things and few just bits of the impact my work with other volunteers we've made across Kenya and maybe across East Africa and Africa at large. So yes.
That's great, and it reminds me of say of one of the like Indian saying that if you lit one of a candle, you can lit many other candles with that. So it is like that. That if you inspire and change one person or contribute to a single person's life, it has the ability to like spread it all over the world. So it was really great, and and apart from that, I would request you to let us know about that on a broader scale of sustainable development goal that all of the world is now focusing upon. So, how you have like reached in your vision to achieve a more equitable and a just society? How we can achieve that?
Okay, good question. So did you say like how we can achieve an equitable society or something? Come up again, Gupta.
Yeah. So it's about that in your vision, how we can achieve a more equitable and a just society.
Okay, good question. So I want to give you another story on something that we do at Global Youth Forum. So we have something called Students for SDGs, where we go to schools, talk to them about the Sustainable Development Goals. And for 10 years since I joined university, I left my village and went living in the city. And in the city, people can access internet, people can read through the Sustainable Development Goals online, and they can access the information. So when I go into my rural village where I'm like answering this call from, I visited approximately 6 schools, talking to 958 students, and none of them knew about the Sustainable Development Goals. So you can imagine we are talking about achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Yet a big chunk of the rural communities and marginalized communities do not know about this particular element. So asking on how we can achieve equitable development or like equitable society, it needs really a lot of stuff. An example can be how can we empower rural communities to know more about the sustainable development goals so that they can start taking actions that will help us achieve the sustainable development goals. Look at the youth unemployment level. Look at the political level and the young people taking part in political positions and political arena. The gap is really so wide that we really need first to come together, look at the weak areas, and then say, look, how can we work together towards these sustainable development goals? And I know you asking like how we can achieve this. It's just like if you are a leader, can you like let's say give everyone equal chances? Can you allow communities to come and develop solutions together? So like let's say don't give people what you think they want. Give them what they need and allow them to think around that and provide solutions to their own problems. By that, they will own the solutions and they will be able to implement those. So those are some of my few points in relation to the question and how we can probably achieve equitable society if we are going to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So my next question was that how we can collaborate to achieve the like 2030 agenda of sustainable development goals. So
Yeah.
you have already like answered that. So that's great. And that was really a nice conversation about the whole journey that you have been. So is there anything else you would like to bring notice to our like viewers about sustainable development or any other thing to the people who are listening to you?
Uh, I'm just trying to look, not sure who is listening, but I know they will listen in later. But I know, like, let's say, the power is in our hands to turn things around and flip the script for everyone. So it is only you to identify that power. What power do you have in your hands that can help you turn things around? And what can you do within your capability to change stuff? Are you going to plant a tree? Are you going to clean plastic? Are you going to give a hand to somebody who really needs it? Are you going to donate a cloth to somebody? So those little actions that we take every single day can bring about really big change rather than sitting there and waiting for maybe government,
Mm,
waiting for other people to come and help us. We got the power in our hands to change the world. So Let us go out there, use those powers, and as young people, let us be united. When Gupta has got something and he reaches out to Peter, how can we work about this one? Let me not be mean and say, oh, if I give him, he will succeed and I will just go down. Just like you said, one candle can light many other candles. Can we be happy when we light other people's candles so that ours can even shine brighter? So that will be my call to the youth out there. And I know we are so many, over 1.2 billion. We can change this world if
Right.
we want in the next 2 days, if we really want. So let's go do our part and just turn it around for the people and the planet. That's my take. And for those who will watch later or those who are watching now.
That's really inspiring. And also one last question from my side. So basically, what would you like to convey to the people who have what do you say, who have no hopes, like they don't they want to contribute something to the society, to the world, but they are somewhat into the comfort zones. They're feared that if they will, how they can start anything or how they should start. So what will you like to tell them about that?
Okay, yeah. So good one there. So sometimes we think about starting and not starting. So the thing is, if you feel you want to start somewhere, look around and see who out there is already doing something and where can you actually start. Surround yourself with good people, people who will inspire you and people who will tell you that look, you got a big dream, you can do it, and people who inspire you, people who encourage you rather than putting you down. Look around. There are many people doing good things. Find one and then just go out there and do your thing. Don't wait for other people to tell you, oh, like, I can go do this one. Jump on and just go do it. Take the action. Don't think too much. Jump on and take the action and make things better.
Thank you, Peter, for those inspiring words and those like sharing your inspiring journey with us. And it's really enlightening for all of us to know about how you're contributing to the society and helping us achieving a sustainability goals. That's really like what you say, awesome for all of us. And once again, thank you, Peter, for bringing us a beautiful session. It was really insightful and informative.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and I look forward to engaging more. So do stay at peace and let's connect again in future.
Sure, definitely. Thank you. And so, guys, let's meet you again with another wonderful session next Wednesday on the Swan Livelihood YouTube channel. Till then, stay safe, take care, and don't forget to share our channel with your friends and family. And stay tuned. Meet you soon.
Okay, bye and see you soon.